Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy for the elite, but when we look at history, we see two remarkable figures, Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, and Epictetus. Born as a slave, both embraced Stoicism, proving that this philosophy is not limited to wealth or status. It is for anyone willing to train their mind. At its core, Stoicism is about cultivating a calm, resilient mind. True happiness, Stoics argue, comes not from external circumstances, but from living in harmony with nature, acting with reason, and finding inner peace. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by life, as if the world demands more than you can give? Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, but instead of panicking, you find a quiet center inside yourself. That is what Stoicism teaches us. The power to remain steady, no matter what surrounds us. It begins with understanding that the external world is beyond our control. What we truly control is our mind, our judgments, and our choices. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, emphasized the importance of acting according to nature. He told his students to consider every action carefully, weighing whether it aligns with moral purpose rather than mere convenience or desire. One story tells of a student who wanted to go home because he felt sick. Instead of simply sending him away, Epictetus asked whether leaving was consistent with the proper course of action. The lesson is simple yet profound. Sometimes, our well-being requires accepting reality and acting wisely, rather than forcing ourselves into impossible situations. Illness, discomfort, or setbacks might challenge our body, but they cannot dictate how we respond. Now, think about your daily life. How often do arguments, stress, or minor setbacks provoke emotions that feel uncontrollable? Epictetus teaches that it is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. A family disagreement, a sudden work crisis, a rude comment, none of these carry inherent power. The power comes from how we interpret and react to them. If we learn to observe our thoughts, we gain a freedom that no external circumstance can take away. He also introduced the idea of focusing on what is within our control. In a world full of uncertainty, we often expend energy trying to influence people, events, or outcomes that are ultimately beyond us. Stoicism challenges this instinct. By redirecting focus inward, we invest in what truly matters, our reasoning, choices, and emotional state. Imagine feeling a profound sense of peace, knowing that even if the world collapses around you, your mind remains unshaken. Can you see yourself living with that kind of calm? Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world of his time, faced immense pressures. Yet he approached life with a disciplined, Stoic mindset. One of his key teachings is deceptively simple. Do less, but with intention. We are often busy for the sake of busyness, distracted by social obligations, entertainment, or trivial worries. Marcus taught that a calm life comes from focusing on what truly matters, reducing noise, and making deliberate choices. He observed that many conversations, tasks, and concerns are unnecessary, draining our mental energy without any real benefit. Have you ever felt mentally exhausted after a long day of doing everything but achieving nothing meaningful? Marcus would remind us that effectiveness comes from clarity, not busyness. Planning ahead, prioritizing essential actions, and letting go of trivial concerns are practical ways to cultivate calm. It's not about laziness, it's about choosing wisely. Another cornerstone of his philosophy is that peace comes from within, not from the environment. No vacation, no luxury, no escape can replace the inner refuge of a disciplined mind. Marcus also urges us to remember everything passes. Our emotions, our problems, our victories, our sorrows. The Stoics called this principle a memento mori, remembering that life is finite. Next time anger rises, reflect, how much will this matter a week from now? A month? A year? Recognizing the fleeting nature of life softens our reactions, shifts perspective, and allows us to act with wisdom instead of impulse. At this point, you may wonder, how do we translate these lofty teachings into everyday practice? The answer lies in concrete exercises. First, learn emotional regulation. Observe your feelings without letting them control your actions. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, pause, breathe, and assess the situation. Ask yourself, does this require a rational response, or is it just an emotional impulse? Next, practice mental distancing. Imagine a stressful event or person from afar, making them smaller or even comical. This simple act reduces emotional intensity and gives your thinking brain room to respond calmly. Combine this with changing perspective you challenges as opportunities for growth or setbacks as tests of resilience. Marcus's advice resonates here. Choose not to be offended, and you will not be offended. Breathing exercises are another cornerstone. Deep breaths, counting to 10, or brief pauses. Allow your rational mind to regain control before reacting. Likewise, understanding that others' actions are reflections of their struggles, not personal attacks. Detachment and peace. Avoiding negative, reactive people can also preserve your mental clarity. The environments we inhabit shape our minds, often more than we realize. By now, you might see a pattern emerging. All Stoic practices are interconnected, observing judgments, focusing on what we can control, accepting impermanence, regulating emotions, and choosing deliberate actions. They reinforce one another. When applied consistently, they create a resilient, calm, and empowered mind. So, how do you implement this in a strategic, actionable way? Begin with a daily plan. Morning reflection. Spend 5 to 10 minutes reviewing the day ahead. Identify tasks within your control and prioritize them. Visualize potential challenges and rehearse calm responses. Mindful check-ins. Throughout the day, pause to observe emotions. Are you reacting impulsively or choosing a rational response? Adjust as needed. Evening review. Reflect on what went well, what provoked stress, and how you handled it. Ask, did I act according to reason? Did I focus on what I could control? Weekly reset. Reevaluate priorities. Declutter mental and physical space, and remind yourself of recognize growth, even in small victories. Practicing this consistently transforms Stoic theory into lived experience. Over time, you will notice less reactivity, more clarity, and a profound sense of inner freedom. Life does not change overnight, but your mind can. By committing to these practices, you are choosing courage over chaos, reflection over reaction, and peace over turmoil. Ultimately, the strength of a Stoic mind is not measured by external achievements or the absence of difficulty. It is measured by the ability to remain centered, calm, and purposeful, regardless of circumstance. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus teach us that serenity is a choice, courage is an action, and freedom is cultivated inwardly. If this message resonates, take the next step. Subscribe to Mind Balance, like this video, and leave a comment sharing your experiences or reflections. Whether you choose to be anonymous or share openly, know that your journey toward a calmer, more resilient mind is valuable, and you are not alone in it. Start today. Breathe, reflect, and act. The power to transform your mind is already within you.